What's good, everybody? It's your boy ssjk-dots, the first black Super Saiyan wherever I've on this planet. I'm back here with another video. I just got out of Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. Let me just say this. I enjoyed the film. I thought the film was good. Now, if I had to compare this to -1, obviously I felt -1 was a stronger film. But this was a good film. This film obviously is taking inspiration from the era of Godzilla movies where, you know, Godzilla was, doing victory dances, all that and stuff. Also, let's talk about something real quick. The people, all the stupid idiots complaining about Godzilla running. You dumb motherfuckers. This nigga Godzilla was sprinting in Godzilla 2014, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and many other Godzilla movies. Alligators and crocodiles can literally sprint and charge. So, yeah, stop complaining about Godzilla running, you dumbass motherfuckers. Like, that's a stupid ass complaint. But other than that, about the movie was solid. Plot, easy to follow. If you have questions, I mean, you know, it's a given. Like, for example, you know, I was like, my questions were mainly like, tell me more. Like, I need to know. I would just want some more. Like, just want more backstory on things. But other than that, not too many issues with the plot. I felt, personally, I kind of wish the movie was a little bit longer. The movie is only an hour and 55 minutes. It did feel like, you know, it was enough time to do what they needed to do, get straight to the point. But I felt like, for example, the third act could have been a little bit longer, like a little bit of a build-up. But everything was going by very quickly. Like Scar King, as far as him trying to get to the surface, Kong looking for other Kongs and stuff, all that was happening very quickly, back to back. Now, Godzilla was standing on absolute business in this movie. Godzilla knew something was coming up. He was getting a distress call, like, King, we need your help. And, you know, Kong's a king, but nah, Godzilla is, no, he's not even a king. He's a god, bruh. Godzilla kept establishing in this movie why he's on top. Godzilla is in this movie, but not nearly as enough. He's not in this movie enough for me. I really feel like the way they had Kong in this movie and the way they was telling Kong's story, I mean, you know, there's no audible dialogue. There's not even subtitles to let you know what Kong is saying when he's talking to other Kongs. But the way they have Kong emote and express things to kind of, you know, it speaks for itself. And I was able to understand, like, what Kong was doing and what he was urging for and what he wanted throughout the movie with the way he was acting and stuff, the way he was doing things. I mean, they showed more of Kong's intelligence in this movie. They showed him making traps and stuff to trap prey. Well, you know, trap his food and all that. Like, they were showing more of his intelligence. And I did like that. Now, the human characters in this film. I felt the strongest human characters in this movie obviously was the certain, well, we saw them in trailers, but the tribe of people that we run into, and mainly Gia and Dr. Alexander. I felt they was the strongest human characters. The whole little bond and stuff they had going on, this mother and adopted daughter type of bond they had going on. Dr. Alexander felt like she was almost going to lose her daughter in this movie to an extent. There was that fear that was overcoming her in this movie, because her daughter felt like, you know, Gia, she felt like she didn't belong anywhere. And, you know, she's supposedly the last of her people. That's what she thinks. Just like Kong, he thought he was the last of his people, and Gia thinks she's the last of her kind. That's why her and Kong get along so much. They believed, had this idea that we are it, we are the end, and all we got is really each other. So I felt, you know, that was strong. Got a little bit emotional for me in the third act. I ain't gonna lie, when they did some stuff, got a little bit emotional. But I do want to continue to see Gia. I think the way they handle representation of this girl in this film, she's deaf, and how they get her dialogue across, it worked for me. You know, it worked for me. I mean, shit. She was barely talk. She didn't talk in the film at all. But, you know, She was doing better than most of the characters and actors in this movie that can talk. I'll say that much. But you know, the other human characters, they were just They was just okay. They were just okay. I still felt humans were getting a little bit too much screen time, but the amount of screen time for Kong, I wasn't mad at. I just kind of wish the film was a little bit longer. I think, you know, maybe an extra 20 minutes. An extra 20 minutes would have been cool. I ain't gonna lie to you. But the movie does speed. It does go by very, very quickly. So some stuff I wish it could have lingered on a bit, like just showing more of Kong's daily life in Hollow Earth. Like just showing a little bit more. That's really what I wanted to see. Now let's talk about Scar King. Scar King in this movie, I liked his introduction, the way they was hyping him up, all them Kongs and stuff. They was glazing this nigga's skinny ass dick, bruh. They was glazing this motherfucker like crazy. They over there hyping him up. They all bowing down and shit. Talking this nigga Scar King walking out like he's like this some WWE shit. He's getting hyped up. And bro, there's a part in this movie, bro. This nigga Scar King is a savage. He was eating the fucking baby Kongs. He was literally having the female Kongs offer up their babies, and he over here eating the fucking babies, my nigga. That shit was fucked up. I was like, this nigga Scar King nasty. But I like how he flexed on Kong. He put that nigga in submission. I like that shit. He made him fucking submit. Well, you know, Kong tried to submit, but you know, he ran like a punk. He ran like the punk he is. Kong couldn't handle the smoke. But Scar King whooped his ass. And Kong went to go, you know, run to the humans again. And then Godzilla, he went to go run to the humans and Godzilla for some assistance, bruh. He had to go run to them for assistance. He couldn't stand on business by himself. But this is another thing I do like, and you know, attention to detail. The other Kongs we run into in this film are not as big as Kong. When you see Kong next to the other Kongs, he's a lot more healthy. His muscle mass is up. He looks healthier, right? And the other Kongs, most of them are slaves and stuff. Even the ones that are Scar King's like guards and everything, they're like they're slaves and stuff. But I do like that attention to detail and stuff. Like Kong looking extra healthy, extra thick, and everything. I'm like, dang, this boy juiced. But you know, Kong stood on business. I still think Kong is a bitch though, but he stood on business. I'll give him that. Also, musical choices. In some place, there was a part when it was in a Hollow Earth for a scene in the third act. And the humans did something, and it was a very corny song that played that kind of killed the moment. I'm like, man, get this garbage out of here. But other than that, the intro song is going to sound familiar if you watch Godzilla vs. Kong. And the ending outro song was cool. But like I say, guys, they could have just shown more Godzilla and Kong together. The trailers and TV spots, I was going to watch this movie, and I did. But they showed a little bit too much. Showed a little bit too much of some scenes, especially Godzilla scenes. A lot of Godzilla scenes they could have kept hidden and kept just spamming a lot of the same scenes they shown in the official trailers. Not like most of his sequences. You know, you could have left that like hidden for the film. Because you guys, Godzilla's not in this movie as much as Kong. Godzilla comes to stand on business, you know. And he's demolishing and doing his thing. There's even a fight scene in the movie where I like it. There's a fight scene in the film where Godzilla and Kong were in the Hollow Earth, and they was doing this. All I say is parkour. You'll see what I'm talking about. That nigga Godzilla was moving, bruh. That nigga Godzilla was moving, and I love that. And this whole design is inspired off of Millennium Godzilla, you know, Godzilla 2000s. I'm not sure if anyone watched the Godzilla movies, but this is inspired off of Godzilla 2000s. If you don't like how the tone of it is, I understand, but I'm just telling you, this is nothing new to the Godzilla lore as far as embracing the abnormal shit that you wouldn't expect out of this. Overall, I liked the movie. Thought it was solid. I do recommend y'all go watch it. I'm gonna go watch it again. And mind you guys, I was tired today. I was very tired. I only got like 2-3 hours of sleep. You guys know I work nights, and I only got like 3 hours of sleep. This movie kept me up. It kept me engaged. I thought I was going to fall asleep watching this movie, but I didn't. I kept me fully engaged, and I barely got any sleep before going into this movie. So I'll say, it's going to keep you engaged. My theater was packed for the most part. Experience was cool. I would mind you guys, I watched this Thursday the 28th, opening night. So, mind you, people are at work. People are getting off of work. There's probably going to be more people turning up for the weekend, which I expect. But I think this film is I think a lot of people are going to be engaged in this movie. Oh, another thing. Diddy Kong. I call him Diddy Kong. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Diddy Kong. Lil Kong. This kid was a badass little motherfucker. Kong had to spank him. When I say he had to spank him, he spanked that ass. Oh, he put him in check. He had to correct that little boy. But then he showed him some love and compassion. And I like that. Kong in this movie, when compared to Scar King, when he runs into the other apes and stuff, he's very compassionate. He's very loving. The same way he looks out for Gia, he doesn't get as rough with her like he would, with the other apes in this movie. But he does have compassion. He's not just some mindless creature. And even in this film, Godzilla, he ain't no mindless creature either, but, he's... As long as you don't fuck with him, he won't fuck with you. But he is going to try to maintain this peace and balance. Also, and some of y'all may not have gotten this, but it's obvious. Godzilla's role and what he is doing is essentially a protector trying to keep a balance and keep things where they're supposed to be. The hollow earth is supposed to stick where the hollow earth is, and the surface is supposed to be where the surface is at. So Godzilla doesn't like too many creatures coming in through the portals onto the surface because, there's only supposed to be certain types of monsters on the surface and stuff, and Godzilla just wants to keep it peaceful. Godzilla is very much still a protector in this movie, but he's not like some Superman type of protector. He's a protector. He's a protector of keeping the balance. He is nature. Think about it like this, guys. I hate that I have to make this comparison, but, I have to. The natural disasters we get, you can call them bad all they want, but they are probably there in place for a reason to keep a balance, keep things in check, right? And that's what Godzilla is here for. Kong is a little bit more compassionate, but he's a compassionate bitch. Godzilla, he can be a little bit rough, but that's okay, because he's a god. What's a king to a god? What's a god to a king? Not even nothing. A god is over a king. Shouts out Godzilla. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know where they can go with for a sequel, honestly. They would have to, find a new type of villain and stuff. Maybe they might have to get extraterrestrial and start bringing down kaijus from space again, like they did Ghidorah. Introduce other things. Like, I don't know how many more Hollow Earth enemies they got for Godzilla and Kong that want to mess with them, but we'll see. We will see. We will see. I'm not going to tell you guys what happened to the fate of Scar King, but I don't know where they can go with a sequel. I'm not saying they can't make a sequel. You can probably go somewhere, but I don't know where they can go. If you want to go watch the movie, go check it out. I recommend you go check it out. Go take your families. Go have some fun. Also, Toei. I think Toei. Where is Godzilla -1 on Blu-ray, guys? I need that Godzilla -1 on Blu-ray. These visual effects were amazing. Astonishing. There's a part where they go to Antarctica, and I'm assuming they probably had a drone over there and filmed some stuff, but it really looked like they probably filmed in Antarctica. I'm assuming most of it was VFX. It looked like VFX, but some of that shit looked fucking real, like too real. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I watched this in Dolby, guys. I watched this in Dolby, and that Antarctica, bro, that shit looked too fucking real. And it was so real to the point where you don't even know if it's VFX or if they actually filmed on site. So Legendary Pictures, y'all did a great job with the VFX. Warner Brothers distributed the movie. It looks like they're gonna have a W on their hands. I want to thank y'all for watching. Goes to that peace, love, positivity, all that jazz. Don't do drugs, like I always say, guys. Deuces.
What did you do? What did you do?